Celebrity Spotlight.
Hi, Bert. Welcome to the show. It's so great to have you with us. Welcome to Celebrity Spotlight. You're a television icon, a Hollywood Walk of Fame star, the original Robin, the Cape Crusader, to cats and kittens, dogs and puppies, and to all of us. Welcome to the show.
Hello, citizen.
How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Fantastic. I mean, of course, you're a real-life superhero for all of us, but also for dogs and puppies and cats and kittens. And I know you and your wife, Tracy, have rescued, more than 15,500 cats and puppies?
Dogs, and about 500 cats over the last 30 years, yeah.
Crazy. I mean, tell us how that all got started for you. How did that all start?
Well, basically, my wife and I moved here. We had a daughter together, and we were living at a beautiful place overlooking the beach. But at the beach property is very expensive, so we had a 4-story house on a small lot. So we decided, with all the balconies, no, we got to go to a single level to raise a child. So we moved here about an hour east of Los Angeles to, actually, it's called Norco. It's the last western town in America where horses have the right of way over cars. It's really cool and very animal friendly. And we decided to rescue a dog, and we got a Great Dane, and we heard about other ones that needed rescue. We said, okay, let's take another one. And then we found out that the ones we didn't take were all put to death because there was no rescue in Southern California at the time. The lady who was doing it had died. So I said to my wife, Tracy, this is August of 1994. I said, we can't let these dogs die. How about just for a couple of weeks? We take all these Great Danes, from the shelters, and, we'll find somebody else to take it over. Well, it's been 30 years, and I'm a patient guy, Jimmy, but 30 years. Okay. And so, and by the way, at the end of the first month of August 1994, in our house, not in a yard, not in another building, not at somebody else's house, in our house, I had 102 full-size Great Danes, giant dogs, and 61 puppies under 7 weeks of age.
Wow. I saw a picture of so many dogs. I mean, I don't know how many were on the bed with you and Tracy.
Yeah, 50 in the bedroom. Not all in the bed, but 50 in the bedroom. We always have about 45 to 50 here. But here's the thing. We rescued dogs that otherwise would have been put to death. And the dogs we rescued are incredibly sweet and loving. We found loving homes, safe homes for more than 15,500. But in the course of doing that, we noticed that the larger breeds traditionally have a short lifespan. So we love these dogs. So we spent a lot of time thinking and trying out, and we created a special way to feed dogs that was different than the way other people feed them, that actually ended up adding about 3 to 5 years to each dog's life.
Wow.
And when we did that, we said, I wonder, is there anything else we could do? So we said, well, the only other thing we know of is make food. So we thought, because we were done very well in our lives, that we could go out and make what we believe to be the finest pet food in the world. And we did. But when we did it, we only expected maybe that, could get another year or two out of each dog, right? I mean, you don't have enormous expectations, but we found out something, Jimmy, that was so devastating to us, we've never gotten over it. And that is this, that all the pet food companies that make pet food, they know something the average person doesn't know, which is the more fat content they put in the food and on the outside of the food, the hungrier it makes dogs. Hungrier it makes dogs, people feed them more. And guess what? You have to buy more dog food. Yeah. The problem with that animal fat is that, just like you wouldn't take bacon grease if you cook bacon and pour it down your sink, would you? Because it would clog it. Well, what do you think is happening to the arteries and intestines of dogs? No matter what food you feed, except ours, their arteries are clogged, their lives are shortened. So when we did what we did, we found that we were getting dogs living into their 20s and high 20s and some over 30 years of age. And people say, well, that's impossible. No, it's not that we discovered the fountain of youth. Basically, we're just not prematurely killing them. We're giving them the chance to live the maximum lifespan with no clogged arteries, no clogged intestines. And because of that, our food, which is called Gentle Giants, It's our charity. We don't take any salary from this. It's, we don't make $1. In fact, it ends up with us losing money in some cases. But the point is, we made a food that now Gentle Giants is all across the United States and Canada. We're going into 12 countries in Europe in the next 12 months. And then we're going to 75 countries around the world. And here in the United States, if any of your viewers or listeners go into a Petco store, the Pets chain, we're in 1,500 Petco stores.
I get mine at Chewy.com. That's where I get mine from.
Right. Online, you can get it with free delivery. Free delivery from Petco as well, and TractorSupply.com. So we're available to people, and when people start to follow the way we feed and care for dogs, they get amazing results. Right on our website, I received an email from a person. I never spoke to him, don't know him, but he wrote me an email and said that his dog, Big Rig, a German Shepherd, had been on our food for 15 years. And he had just recently died at 23 years of age for a German Shepherd. That's unheard of. And he said that the dog was never sick a day in his life and only went to a veterinarian every 3 years to get the rabies update that's required by law. And our dogs are the same. We don't have illness here. Can you imagine? And the cost of veterinary care is become almost the expensive human care. So when you can have an animal with you twice as long, and that's what our dogs are living consistently. Now, not every dog, because something bad can always happen. But in general, our dogs are living late teens, early 20s, and some living late 20s and early 30s. And everyone who loves their dog can do this. And again, we take no salary, so we've kept the costs down because we use non-GMO ingredients. What does that mean? That means no pesticides, no insecticides. And, it makes all the difference in the world. And we don't have that extra fat or extra protein, all the things that are done to make money with pet food. We've gone the opposite direction. Our focus is on life and health because everybody I know, they love their dogs. And a lot of people would actually feed their dog before feeding themselves. That's how much they love their dogs. And the same with cats. We have cats living up to 32 years of age. Nobody else has done that. And people say, well, Bert, if you go out and you tell everybody how you're going to do it, everybody else is going to jump on the bandwagon. And I say, do you really think so? I mean, with all the money that those pet food companies are making, dogs eating our food eat a third less of our food, not because you offer them less, but because there's so much nutrition that they don't need more. It's not about how much a dog eats that counts. It's how much its body absorbs what it eats. So with our food, feeding the same weight dog and the same amount of food, our dogs over a 4-month period will eat 3 bags of food where everybody else's food, they'll eat 4 bags. So they save money, but more important than money, it's life. It's the most precious commodity in the world.
Absolutely. And my cat is 6 years old and she absolutely loves it. I get her the tuna flavor. I don't know if you can see it here, but I have the Gentle Giant.
There you go.
And your picture's on it.
Who is that guy wearing that costume?
Yeah, I know. You have a picture on there, which is awesome. Robin is on there. So, and she absolutely loves it. She loves the liquid too. She licks it all up, Bert. She absolutely loves it. And I have the dry food too. And the dry food is just absolutely great. And your picture and Tracy's picture is on there as well. It's good stuff. I mean, my cat absolutely loves it. Boots loves it. And I highly recommend it for everybody. Please go out and get it. I mean, it's available so many places, right? Chewy.com. Petco.com, right? And
Petco stores, and a lot of grocery stores have it as well in various parts of the country. So it's pretty accessible. And of course, they can always call us. Our website, GentleGiantsDogFood.com. It's got all the information and a where to buy page. But most important, we want people to have their dogs longer and their cats longer. And when you lose an animal, I'm telling you, it's devastating. So if we can help them keep their animals 2 or 3 times longer, look what a gift for the world. In fact, speaking of gifts, 2 months ago, my wife Tracy and I received 4 awards. 2 of them were from the President of the United States. We received this award, the President's Volunteer Service Award, for having rescued more than 15,500 dogs and 500 or 600 cats over the last 30 years.
Right.
And then for the second award, it was the President's Lifetime Achievement Award for having created this unique way to feed your dogs and cats, and the special food we make that is different from every other pet food in the world. So those are two awards. And then the other two came to us from the United Nations. My wife, Tracy, got the Humanitarian Award, and I got the Humanitarian Award from the United Nations. And, you know, we were never looking for awards. We love animals. It's our life's work. And Absolutely. By the way, we're now going to be here at our home. We have a beautiful compound. We're going to be making our own movies and TV series.
Nice.
And we have our own animation studio right on our property and our own recording studio. And we're building a sound stage so we could go out, and we want to put out wonderful family-oriented programming with lots of fun and excitement that is inspiring to people. Because my wife and I, our theory is this: we want to leave this planet better off than we found it, you know, and life is the most precious commodity in the world.
Yeah, I mean, you are a true superhero. I said it to you, not only to us, to all the dogs and puppies and cats and kittens. I mean, and you're a superhero in every sense of the word. I mean, from the age of 2, right? Tell us, you were a professional ice skater. Tell us about that. I mean, and you got recognized by the Guinness Book of World Records. Yeah,
actually, my father owned it was the predecessor to the Ice Capades. It was called Rhapsody on Ice, and it was a fantastic traveling ice show. Was some of the best skaters in the world, and I was in the show. I guess my father believed in an early work ethic. At 2 years of age, He had me come out with my little tiny skates. I mean, they're like this big. They're, I think, even including the blade, is about 8 inches long. Tiny shoe. I'm 2 years old. And they would, you know, it's funny. I do remember one thing, and it was the lights. Because, you know, when you're on ice and you got all these lights in these big auditoriums, you really can't see anybody. You know, all you can see is the lights, but you can hear everybody, and you kind of feel that presence. And they would hold one skater in each hand. They would skate me around, and then people go, "Oh, good." I mean, you know, 2-year-old, but he's being held up. And then they let me go, and I skated all around by myself, and people couldn't believe it. They're like screaming, you know, how could a 2-year-old skate forwards and backwards? Oh my, anyway. And that was the beginning of my career. That I was very into athletics. I was very a student that really studied hard. You know, I went to Beverly Hills High School, and then UCLA. I placed in the top 3% of the country in math and science.
That's amazing.
When I left to do Batman, the dean at UCLA begged me not to go. She said, "No, you have to stay here and be a nuclear physicist." And, you know, I think I'm happier having played Robin and done my other acting roles. But nevertheless, that is a very impressive job I could have done if I wanted to.
And you were so great in martial arts, right? And so many, you took so many great athletic, you had so many great athletic abilities in high school, right? I mean, that helped you with your audition for Robin.
And a piece of trivia, I lived, this is when doing the Batman days, I lived in the same complex that Bruce Lee lived in. And we met. And we became friends. We used to go out to dinner with with his wife, and Brandon, his son at the time, was only 6 months of age.
Right.
And we were friends, and we used to spar together. And then the same executive producer that produced Batman, which, by the way, when it came out, it was the #1 and #2 show in the entire world, Jimmy, in the entire world.
I know it.
We were on twice a week, prime time. 400 million people a week watched Batman. And anyway, a piece of trivia for your viewers and listeners is that Bruce Lee's first filmed fight scene of his career, where it was filmed, was fighting me on Batman.
Oh, wow.
And he was Kato. He was cast as Kato in the Green Hornet. And the Green Hornet was another show by the same executive producer that was coming on in the fall on ABC. We were on ABC that had come on mid-season before that.
Right.
And here, you know, the Green Hornet and Kato faced off against Batman and Robin, both of us thought the other guys were the bad guys. And that's why we had a big fight, because we thought we were fighting for good. And it turned out that we finally figured out that we were on the same side of justice.
Amazing. Tell us about your audition for Batman. I mean, you beat out so many actors for that role. I mean, because you are the boy wonder. You really are in real life.
Well, here's an interesting thing. I was selling real estate. My father eventually sold the show, the Ice Show, and he got into real estate in Beverly Hills, became a very prominent real estate broker. And I helped him on weekends. I would like sit at a house that was an open house. You know, people come in and you hand them a brochure, you get to talk with them and things like that. And it turned out that one of the places that I was on, house on a weekend, an executive producer, very famous producer, came in and we got to talking. Very nice man. And I found out he was a very famous producer. And I said, sir, I know this is kind of out of line, but I really want to be an actor. Would you be willing to spend 3 or 4 minutes watching me do a scene? And he was like, what? All right. And I did a scene for him. He said, you're really very good. I tell you what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to send you to an agent. And he did. And now when I got to see the agent said to me, first thing he said, talk about a downer, I can't get work for the actors I've got. I never take a new person. The only reason I'm taking you is because Saul David asked me to do it. And don't expect to work for a year. And if you get a job, you probably have one line. I was like, oh, okay, all right. So I kind of left with a little bit lowered ego. And
Right.
a couple of weeks later, I got a call from someone in his office. Hey, there's something going on over at 20th Century Fox. We have your name on a list. Please go there tomorrow at 4:30 and give them your name, and they'll let you in on the lot, and they'll send you over on this project. And I said, oh, well, what's it about? Oh, I don't know about it. We don't know anything about it. We just know they're seeing young guys.
Right.
So I had no idea what it was. I went there, and sure enough, I went into the cast. Well, the casting office there was actually a bungalow.
Right.
And I went in there, and there's all these young actors my age, Now, even though I had never tried out for a part, I had been studying several years. I was studying professionally in with one of the top Hollywood teachers, and I was also studying at UCLA. So, but I hadn't tried out for anything. So finally, I got my turn. They called me in, and I met the casting director. He asked me 1 or 2 questions and said, "Would you like to meet the executive producer?" I said, sure. I mean, why not? Doesn't everybody get to meet the executive? No, they don't. But Bert didn't know that. So he sends me to another bungalow. Now here, there are no one else. There's no other actors there. It's very quiet. There's a secretary, and she says, Mr. Dozier will see you now. So I go in. Again, I had never tried out for anything, so I didn't know what to expect. But I also had never been turned down for anything. And I must tell you, actors, if you're selling a brush door to door and they don't like your brush, that's one thing. But yourself as an actor, if they don't like your work, that hurts. I had not been hurt. And most actors have been devastated because 99% get turned down. Okay. Right. But I hadn't been turned down. So I just walked in and said, hello, sir. And I shook his hand, and he's kind of like, oh my gosh, this guy's awfully forward. And he looked at me for a minute. And he says, you're kind of big for the part. I said, oh, but sir, I promise you, I won't grow anymore. And he laughed. I'm going to stop somebody from growing, right? And he said, would you like to do a screen test? I said, sure. I thought to myself, doesn't everybody get to do a screen test? No, they don't. I didn't know that, because it actually costs them tens of thousands of dollars. They have to have a whole crew there. They have to have a set built. It's a big deal. It's not just, standing one person in front of a camera.
Right.
Okay, and these are film cameras. These aren't television cameras in those days. They're film cameras, 35 millimeter. Anyway, so I went to the screen test, and I went in there, and they said, well, we understand, you're athletic. Can you show us some stuff? I said, sure. And I started doing some judo and karate. And I broke a board with my hand, which, and this is back in 1965. Karate only came to the United States in 1959, and very few people even knew about it. So when I broke a board, people were like, oh my, how could he break that board with his hand? Anyway, and then they said, okay, that's great. That's all that physical is amazing. Well, we want you to do a scene. We have another actor here, and here's a page from a script, and
Right.
they handed me a single page, Jimmy, and
Okay.
on the page it didn't say Batman, it didn't say Dick Grayson or Bruce Wayne. All it
Right.
said was Dick, a couple of sentences, Bruce sentences, Dick, Bruce. That it, one page. That's it. Maybe
Right.
5 or 6 things I had to say all together.
Wow.
But they said, "Would you like to meet the actor we want you to read with?" And I said, "Sure." So they took me over and they introduced me to Adam West. Okay.
Wow.
Now, they said, "Bert, why don't you sit down next to Adam and you can run your lines?" That's where you kind of both start saying your lines and you kind of get warmed up for doing it. And he and I started talking. We should have been talking about the script, but I don't know. We just started talking, and within 5 minutes, the two of us were laughing uncontrollably, and we instantly had a chemistry. He was, to me, like the funniest guy in the world and such a nice guy. He liked me. I liked him, and we became friends for over 55 years.
Wow.
Okay?
Amazing.
And so anyway, we got up and we did this dialogue. And they said, "Well, thank you, Bert." I said, "Okay, well, it's very nice meeting you all." And I turned to leave. They said, "Whoa, wait a minute, Bert. We're not done with you yet." I said, "Well, I thought we completed the scene." "Yes, we did, but we want you to do something else." "Oh, okay. Well, what is that?" "Well, on the other side of the soundstage, see, way over there. I'm telling you, it's like 3 blocks away. These
Right.
things are the biggest thing you've ever seen. And so, my God, 80 feet tall. They're huge. They said, "We have a dressing room over there, and there's 2 wardrobe guys that are going to help you get dressed. And we want you to go over there, get dressed, and come back to this other set here, and we're going to do another scene."
Oh, wow.
And I stopped for a second. I said, "Well, with all due respect, I'm perfectly capable of dressing myself."
Right.
They said, "Oh, no, you don't understand." I said, what do you mean? "You just go over there." So anyway, I walked like 3 blocks or whatever it was. I get over there. I go into this dressing room, and it's like a couch that's like 14 feet long. It's gigantic. And on this couch is all this stuff. I mean, and I said to the 2 guys there, I said, "Am I going to put some of this on?" And they said, "No, you're going to put all of it on." I said, "What?" And they helped me get dressed into, Jimmy, it's got to be the most uncomfortable thing I have ever worn in my entire life.
I could
Everything
imagine.
either pinched, itched, or just drove me crazy. Okay. And I got into this thing. I couldn't believe it. And with that mask, you could only see straight. You couldn't see down. You couldn't see up. You couldn't see left or right. You mean you had like tunnel. It's like looking through binoculars. That's all you could see. So I nearly broke my neck coming out, missing the step coming
Right.
out of the trailer. Anyway, on my way out, and again, I've never been so uncomfortable. I tried to take a positive attitude. My life has always tried to be positive.
Right.
So I said to these 2 guys, I said, "Look, the good news here is that after another 15 or 20 minutes, I'll never have to wear this costume again." Famous last words, right? I go to the set. I hobble. I'm hobbling. I walk in that thing. I'm hobbling to the set. I get there, and there's the same guy, this Adam West, only he is in this really long cape and cowl. And I'm saying, what is this? I couldn't figure out. Nobody said anything about comic books. Where I lived, there was a Superman and Superboy comic books,
Right.
but no Batman. I'd never heard of Batman. I didn't associate it with a comic book. I thought it was maybe some kind of period piece, some Shakespearean thing. But why would they wear these kind of costumes, right? Anyway, at that point, I did the scene. I left, and I was like, God, I just don't know what I've done. But whatever it is, I did the best I could. And for the next 6 weeks, I received phone calls. Like once a week, somebody would call. "Oh, I'm from 20th Century Fox. I'm in the wardrobe department. Can you tell us your shoe size?" Well, okay, 7.5. And then they would call about something. Another one they call. They said, "Oh, can you tell us your hat size?" I said, "Well, I don't wear a hat." "Well, go get your head measured." "Well, where do I go to get my head measured?" Yeah, it didn't dawn on me, any of this. And I'm just saying, why are they calling me like money?
Right.
So after 6 weeks, I got a call from the same agents, the one that was so uninterested. They said, "Come on in. You finally get to sign contracts." I said, "Great. Now I'm going to be professionally represented. I can tell people I have an agent. Wow. So I go there and they go into the office and they put me in a little private room and there is a stack of papers 1.5 inches tall. I'm saying, gosh, just to have an agent, you've got to have all that paperwork, just didn't seem right. And I looked at it and it said 20th Century Fox on it.
Wow.
I got up, I said, no. And I opened the door. I said, excuse me. I've got the wrong paperwork. Okay. I'm supposed to be signing my agency agreements. And the lady comes up and she goes over and looks at it. No, that's you. That's what you're supposed to be signing. And I couldn't understand it. Well, I went ahead and signed it. And it turns out that the studio thought the agents told me I had the part, and the agents thought the studio told me I had the part. So of the 4 of the 6 weeks, I already had the part but didn't know about it.
Wow, amazing. Now,
and one more thing, Jimmy.
Yeah.
When I finally went to the set and I met the executive producer again, he came up to me and he said, Bert, he said, we thought long and hard. We interviewed 1,100 young actors for this role over the last 1.5 years. 1,100 cross-country, nationwide search, and we picked you. Would you like to know why? And I said, oh, yes, sir. I'd really like very much to know why. He said, well, let me tell you this. In our opinion, if there really was a Robin, not television, no, not movies, no, forget that.
Right.
If there really was a Robin, we think that you personally would be it.
Absolutely.
So we don't want you to, quote, act. Don't put on some act. We only want you to do 2 things, Bert. 1, be enthusiastic. Which, oh my God, I don't need any help doing that.
Right.
And be yourself. And that's what I did for 120 episodes. Throughout all these years, when I would reprise the role, either in animation or on camera with some cartoon stuff, whatever, people would say to me, is it hard to get back in the role? Well, no, because the role was me. I don't have to study to become me again.
Right.
That's the story.
What about the stunts? I know they made you do a lot of stunts.
Oh, well, let me tell you why.
I know.
I wasn't asking to do the stunts. Oh,
I know.
No, it started on the first day of filming. The first day, the first shot, my first time acting in my career. Okay, I was on set. This was up in Hollywood Hills. It's called Bronson Canyon. It's the famous Batmobile coming out of the Batcave shot.
I've been there. So great place.
All right. So they say to me, Bert, I'm like, I had to be there at 6 a.m. I got the same god awful costume on. I got makeup all over me and hairspray in my hair. And it's like, oh my gosh. So they say, Bert, now you go up to the cave there and you go in and sit in the Batmobile and we'll be with you in a few minutes. Right. I said, okay. So I go up there and I go into it. It's really dark. I mean, I can't see anything. And, when you first go into the darkness, it's hard to find your way. But I found my way. I saw the Batmobile. I got in the car and I looked over and I thought it was Adam West in his costume, but something didn't seem right. You know how sometimes you don't know it when something didn't seem right. I said, Adam. He said, no, my name is Hubie. I said, oh, well, why are you here? He says, because the studio didn't want to take on chance of Adam West getting hurt. And this is a very dangerous stunt. So they hired me. I'm a stunt man. And, actually, the more broken bones I get, the more money I get paid. Oh, I said, well, that's nice for you. I said, well, so this is really dangerous? Oh, absolutely. We got to come out at 55 miles an hour on the dirt. We got to come right up to the camera. I've got to turn the wheel sharp, skid the back around to create a dust cloud, and speed off down towards Gotham City. Mm-hmm. I said, oh, okay. I said, well, if this is so dangerous, I wonder why wouldn't they have a stuntman for me? He said, oh, you got a stuntman. I said, well, that's good. Well, wait a minute, where is he? Oh, I think he's having coffee with Adam West. I said, oh, boy. Wait a minute. If this is so dangerous, and he said, look, and then I hear him say, roll it up. That means you're going to shoot. I said, whoa, hey, wait a minute. There's a terrible mistake. Stop. Right. And the second unit director's name was Ruben, comes up. Bert, what's going on here? I said, this guy's a stuntman. He said, yeah, we know. I know, but he's telling me this is a dangerous stunt. Yes, Bert, we know. But he's telling me that I have a stuntman and he's having coffee with Adam West. And why is he having coffee with Adam West and he's not here doing the stunt instead of me? Why am I here? Oh, we can't use him. Oh, I'm sorry you can't use him. Why is that? Well, he doesn't look like you. Well, wait a minute. Why would you hire a stuntman to be my stuntman if he doesn't look like me? Couldn't find anybody else. So he said, so anyway, we got to use you, Bert. And plus, you're going to be right up close to the camera because we make that turn and the camera's right here. They're going to see with that little mask. You know, your stuntman, wonderful guy, but he has a giant nose. He looked like Cyrano de Bergerac. No way that we could pass him off as you. I said, okay. So now emotionally, I got to get ready for this. Okay, I've never been in a stunt. I don't know what to expect. So the first thing I do is go to look for my seatbelt. But there's no seatbelt. There's no seatbelt. And then I say, okay, no seatbelt. All right, let me grab a hold of the thing, armrest on the side of the door.
Right.
Armrest on the side of the door. Why? Because they needed room for cameras and lights that were in there to light us up.
To light everything up, yeah.
So what am I going to hold on to? And I look up there, and here is this, 1/16 of an inch flexible plastic fake windshield. I'm going to hold on to that, right? But I'm holding. Oh my gosh! Here it comes out. Boom! This stunt man, he went all out. They don't do it halfway. Stuntmen, if they're good, they are really good. We come right out 55 miles at the camera. He makes the turn perfectly. The car slides around, but unexpectedly, my door flew open.
Oh,
now, that wasn't supposed to happen. When my door flew open, I was thrown to the side towards the opening of the door, and I don't even know how I did it. I just threw my hand behind me, and somehow my little pinky finger wrapped around his gear shift, and it kept me from falling out.
Wow!
Knocked the cameraman. There's a camera truck. They have a camera, and it's on a little. It's not a truck like you think of driving. It's on a motorized stand.
Right.
And it knocked him over. It knocked a giant arc lamp over. One of those giant lights. If it landed on somebody, would have killed him.
Right.
But it pulled my finger out of joint.
Wow.
There was dust everywhere, and they came running up. Bert, are you okay? And I said, yeah, but my hand is killing me. Now I'm wearing gloves, right? Robin wore the green gloves.
The green gloves, yep.
Even with the gloves, my little finger was like bulging out of the glove. And I said, and they said, your finger's out of joint. We got to get you to a doctor. I said, okay. So they helped me get up, and I get out of the Batmobile and say, okay, well, where's the car I'm going to get into? Oh, Bert, we can't go now. Why? What do you mean? I don't have to go to the. Yes, you do, but we can't go now. We didn't get the shot, and we got a crew of 80 men. It's costing us $30,000 every 30 minutes.
Oh boy!
We can't go till we get the shot. Put my hand. All right. Anyway, that was 7:30 because I'd started filming at 7:30. I didn't leave until noon.
My God!
And I'd done the shot 3 more times. The same shot over. Till they got it the way they wanted it.
That's nuts. What about all the vehicles? Was the Batmobile your favorite? There was the Batcycle. It looks like you had a great time on the Batcycle too. The Batcopter, right?
I actually had a little problem with the Batcycle. I didn't drive the Batcycle. I rode in the sidecar.
Oh, the sidecar, right?
Yeah. There was an accident in the sidecar.
Okay? Oh boy, did it come off?
Told me that when you come out, that had a big engine in it. Okay. And, like a typical go-kart, you're down, you're holding it, you're hunched over. And most of the time, the steering, it's stiff enough that, you make minor moves. You don't make big moves.
Right.
Okay. But this was not done properly, and it was very loose. So Batman and this is on the pier in Santa Barbara. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Right. And the water is under the pier. And there's a thing where you pull up, and I come right off there. And I lose control, and I go off the pier in the ocean.
Oh, you're kidding me. Wow.
Oh, no. Now I'm in the ocean with my costume. And let me tell you something. All of that costume filled with water. I could have drowned, okay? And they helped get me out, and they got the Batmobile out, I mean, the bat cart,
the bat.
and and all of that. But you just couldn't believe. Nobody could believe it. Where'd Bert go?
Yeah.
He's in the ocean.
Oh my God! Wow,
I mean, that
you
was
really are Robin in every sense of the character. You are Robin.
Oh yeah, I tell you, and so many things, so many stunts that in today's world, I don't think they would ever use the actor to do it. I mean, I tell you one more quick one. Yeah. There was a scene where they said to me in the morning when I got there, they said, Bert, we rewrote this script, and you're captured by these bad guys. And they take you up on top of the roof here, and they're going to hang you over the side of this roof. Mm-hmm. I said, okay, well, where's the roof? Oh, we're going to use a sound stage. I said, you mean that 80 some odd foot sound stage? You're asking me to hang off the side of that? Oh, no, don't you worry. We got two of the strongest special effects, stunt guys there are in the business. Incredibly strong. They won't drop. Would you have a net? No, we didn't have time for a net. Oh, boy. Oh my God. So I'm worried about this. So this is before lunch, and I'm choking my lunch down. And after lunch, they get me up there. And I mean, I must tell you, first of all, I was frightened going up there. They have these old rickety wooden stairs, the old stairs where you can see through the stairs. And you keep getting higher and higher. And you'll go, oh my God, I keep going higher and higher. And I get up on this roof, and it looked like 1,000,000 miles down. And this is after lunch. And I said, no, the only way I'm going to do this is I have to have like a marine rope. You know what I mean? Like, they tie a ship, like these big, 2-inch thing. Sure. And I tied it to my leg and tied it to a thing. And they said, well, we don't want that to be seen. I said, well, you can tell your stuntmen to put their hands on the rope, but I'm not taking a chance. They said, why won't you trust our stuntman? I said, did you forget what we had for lunch? Fried chicken. Their fingers are probably greasy. I'll slip right through their fingers. We didn't think about that, Bert. Well, I'm glad I thought about that. So
you had to with all they put you through.
Oh, yeah. It was always something. And I got to be good friends. It was so funny because in that day, the guy who was at the doctor at the emergency hospital, he was the same doctor like 5 days a week there. So we filmed during the week, and I mean, he and I got to be great friends. And he'd say, "What are you in for today?" He said, "Did you ever think maybe a different kind of work might be a little safer?"
Amazing. What about the villains? Any great villains? I mean, it was Cesar Romero, right? Burgess
All of them were fantastic.
Who do you like?
Oh, I mean, there's so many. I mean, you look at of course, you have the classic four, which is Julie Newmar, Catwoman, Cesar Romero, the Joker, Burgess Meredith, the Penguin, Frank Gorshin, the Riddler. But, there was so many great actors and actresses. In fact, there were so many that wanted to be on the show, and there was never enough parts, for that. So they created this walking up the wall, and someone would open the window, and and there they'd get a celebrity, and he'd have some dialogue, or she would have some dialogue, and then we'd continue walking, and that's how they would get these people that were clamoring to be on our show.
There was Jerry Lewis, right? There was a lot of them. That Sammy Davis Jr.
Sammy Davis Jr. was the first one, and Jerry Lewis, and Colonel Klink, and Lurch, and Dick Clark, and Betty White. I mean, they go on and on and on. And it was amazing, but so many great actors and actresses. And, for me, I know people would say, well, who was your favorite? I said, let me tell you, every one of these stars that came in was somebody that I either watched in a movie or saw on television. I said, I was like the kid in the candy store. Every one of them, it was like just to be working with them and to sit there between the shots and have a chance to ask them a few questions. I mean, wow, what a treat.
Oh, yeah. Amazing. I mean, so many great stars on that show. Did you have a favorite episode? A question from Tom Payton, who listens to my show all the time.
Well, to me, I had multiple favorite episodes, and those were the ones that I got through the episode without having to go to the emergency hospital. It was kind of like, they say you want to drive defensively. Well, I want to survive each episode without going back to that emergency hospital with either second-degree burns or broken nose from 2x4s landing on me, gas inhalation, hitting head on metal harnesses that hit me in the head and caused bleeding on my head, fireworks that burned through my costume under my skin. I mean, they were very creative. Okay, it's just that I wish they were more careful than, and as well as being creative.
Absolutely. Do you still own any of the memorabilia from the show? The original Robin costume?
I have my mask.
You have your mask?
Costume. Yeah, I had a costume. I donated for charity. I still have a Robin mask, and I have a Batarang.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, which
How cool
is
is that?
really cool. But I mean, there were so many great actors like Vincent Price, was
Right.
Egghead. And just to give you an idea, just an example, I had seen Vincent Price in a famous movie called The Raven. I was like 6 or 7 years old. It was scared me to death. You know what I mean? I was just a kid. And they had this movie on, The Raven, and so when he first came on the set and I saw him, it's like, like a sinking feeling in your stomach, like that moment where you're actually afraid. And then, of course, I realized, he's there to work and the nicest man in the world. But it just shows you how you can be very affected by things when you're young.
Absolutely.
And I was very affected. And every one of these people that came on, I mean, I recognized them from television and movies, and I was just, gosh, it was a great experience.
Yeah, I know you did the animated series, and you did a series with William Shatner and Adam West, right?
That was the movie. That was the that was the last movie that Adam and I did, and and William Shatner. Okay,
that must have been fun.
I mean, think about it. Here are the two most iconic television shows in history, right? I mean, Star Trek and Batman with the actors working together.
Amazing.
I mean, and William Shatner is hilarious.
He's
very funny. He kind of has a similar personality of Adam, very playful, very sharp mentally. I mean, just these people are very, very sharp at what they do. They're very intelligent. And a lot of people think that actors are just, actors. They're not. But no. I mean, Adam and William Shatner, incredibly intelligent. I mean, very, very educated. It was an honor for me to work with these guys.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. William Shatner is awesome. So was Adam and yourself, my idols growing up. So it's such an honor to have you on my show, which is amazing. So thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. And also, I want to ask you about some of your favorite moments in the Hollywood Christmas parade. I've seen you and Tracy in the Batmobile.
Yes, that's one of the things we love doing. Christmas is such a wonderful time. Mm-hmm. And we like to go into that Hollywood Christmas parade. And, it's everybody's there. It's a wonderful spirit. It's great. And, it's a gorgeous parade and fantastic floats and amazing people. It was really great. It's been great. And we've tried to do that on an annual basis, Sure. So I've done it for, I don't know, at least 5 or 6 years now. And it's fun, and it's always for a good cause, and they always raise money for charity and things like that. So, and really, like for my wife, Tracy, and I mean, our life is like charity. We care for animals.
So many,
if it's not just dogs and cats, but if you're a person that rescues, you'll rescue anything in trouble. I mean, where we live, we've rescued pigs and goats and sheep and horses and llamas and emus. We almost ended up with a camel. I mean, it just, but life is the most precious commodity in the world. And when you have great respect for that, and, and we all want to do well in life, I tell, life is difficult. It's not easy for anybody. I tell everybody, by the way, Jimmy, the first 100 years are the hardest.
Yeah.
After that, it's not so hard, but
the first
100 years. Anyway, so we appreciate life, and we appreciate people, and we appreciate animals. They're so innocent, and they can be so loving. And so this is what we do, and it's become our life's work.
Yeah, it's a special feeling when you rescue an animal. As Bert said, I rescued my cat Boots. I mean, and it gives you that special feeling that you really did something great, You really, helped something, and to live a happy life.
Exactly. And it makes, it's funny. We have found that when we do things for others, particularly animals, that we get a tremendous benefit. It's a warmness in your heart. It just feels like, it's the right thing to do, and we're very happy with that. We love animals, and they love us, and we live this environment we live in. I know, believe me, I don't know anybody in the world that personally has lived with 45 to 50 dogs or more,
Right.
For 30 years of their life. This is not like, just an hour a day. This is 24 hours a day. This is morning, noon, night, in the middle of the night. This is letting them out. I mean, we start in the morning at 5 a.m. letting dogs out, because remember, they're all in our house. They all got to go out. They all got to go to the bathroom. They all got to eat. Okay. Then they all come in, and different ones, and this one goes out, and that group goes out, and this and that. I mean, it is like amazing scheduling every day, 7 days a week. And by the way, there aren't any vacations, Jimmy. In other words, we don't get to go take a vacation. I mean, what are you going to do with 50 dogs? Who are you going to have come in your house that you would never trust? Not
of course. Yeah, it's hard.
You never put anybody at risk. 50 giant animals in your house, right? So and it's like I kid around with people, and I'll tell people that as a joke at Christmas time, I say, "Oh well, Tracy's decided to give me a half day off at Christmas," right? and I hear her in the background say, "I never said that." We love the animals. They're so entertaining, and they love us. We love them. They love each other. It's a very nurturing family.
Right. Well, thank you for all you do for all the animals. You do such great work.
Well, thank you. And I appreciate the opportunity to be on your show. And I think from what I've heard, and it's an amazing show, and you're climbing up with your audience, and my hat's off to you. So thank you so much,
Bert. And of course, tell us Gentle Giants, the pet food. Tell us how to get it one more time for all our viewers and listeners. And
okay, well, Gentle Giants is the name of our pet food. We have Gentle Giants dog and puppy food, and Gentle Giants cat and kitten food. It's all natural, non-GMO, no chemicals, no pesticides, no preservatives. Everything is natural, totally healthy. And it's you can go to our website, GentleGiantsDogFood.com or GentleGiantsCatFood.com to find out where to buy page. But we're in all the Petco stores all around the country, and we're also in many local grocery stores, and online we're on Petco.com, Chewy.com, TractorSupply.com, PetSmart.com. Where all the major retailers online have our food as well, so it's really pretty easy to get it. And the nice thing is, we offer support. People call here. We get about 1,100 people a week that contact us with questions of, well, how many times a day should I feed my dog? Or what about this? What about that? Where do you go for advice how to care for your animal? I mean, most people don't have a place to go. They either talk to a neighbor, or if they go see their vet, the vet is a medical person. They're not an expert of caring and raising and all of the stuff that goes in with the day-to-day care of an animal or the feeding. Anyway, that's what we do, and we love it. And again, thank you for allowing me to be.
Thank you so much, Bert Ward. I really appreciate you coming on the show. I appreciate it so much.
And as we said on Batman, to the Batmobile.
Absolutely. Thank you. And as I said, if possible, can you do a lineup for the show? Just say, hey, this is Bert Ward, the original Robin, whatever you like to say. And you're listening to Jimmy Deal on Celebrity Spotlight.
All right. Jimmy Deal, Celebrity Spotlight. Okay, just give me a second here.
No problem.
Okay, here we go. Holy interviews. Hi, this is Bert Ward, Robin from TV's Batman, telling you that you can have a wonderful audience. Oh, wait a minute. I can do it again. Let me go.
That's all right. That's all right.
Again. All right. Hello, citizens. I'm Bert Ward, Robin from the TV series Batman, inviting you to listen and watch Jimmy Deal on Celebrity Spotlight. What a great show. Wowie zowie.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Bert Ward. I really appreciate it. Please come back on the show, and please, I wish you all the best. And Tracy, you guys do such tremendous work, and we thank you for that. And all the cats and kittens and dogs and puppies, thank you so much.
All right, my friend. Take care.
Okay. Thank you, Bert. Take care. Have a fantastic night. Okay, bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, Bert Ward right there, a legend, the original Robin, Hollywood Walk of Fame star. So great to have him on the show. I want to thank all the people out there listening. Thank you so much. Tom Payton, I know is out there. So many people watching. Virgil Jean, my good friend from radio station I used to work back in the day, WPLJ. He used to be one of our good friends. Thank you so much for watching. So many great people listening to the show right now. Who else? We've got Brad Siegel's out there, my good buddy Brad. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Also, Beryl out in Virginia, Steve Tester in Florida, Kenyatta, my good friend also from another radio station, PLJ, back in the day. Thank you so much. Nancy Snyder was out there from New Jersey. Who else? Glenn Calderon in Long Island. My mom listening out in Brooklyn. Thank you so much. Cindy, Lake Ronkonkoma, producer Cindy, thank you for all your help tonight. I really appreciate it. So many great people listening to the show. And also, I just want to remind you, last week we had on Allison Ogram, who was Nasty Nelly from Little House on the Prairie. And this weekend is the 50th reunion of the Little House on the Prairie happening in Farmington, Connecticut. And tickets are available still at eventbrite.com. So many people are going to be out there. Allison Ogram, of course, Nelly, Dean Butler will be out there. Charlotte Stewart, who is Mrs. Beadle. So many of the great cast members will be out there in Connecticut. So I hope everyone comes out and joins us for this fantastic occasion to meet all the cast of the Little House on the Prairie television show. What a great show that was. So I want to thank everybody for who joined us for that show last week, and I hope you get some tickets and join them up live in Connecticut this weekend, which will be awesome. Coming up on Celebrity Spotlight in September, we have Elvis tribute artist Lamar Peters is going to be here. He's also a great entertainer, a good friend of mine. He'll be on the show. Also, Tabitha from Bewitched, Erin Murphy is going to be here. So many great shows, so many great people. Thank you so much for listening and joining us tonight. I wish everybody a fantastic weekend, and we will catch you in September with Elvis tribute artist Lamar Peters. All right, everybody, have a great night. Thank you for listening. Once again, thank you, Burt Ward, the legend, for being here, the original Robin, television icon, Hollywood Walk of Fame star. What an honor to have him on Celebrity Spotlight. And thank you for listening. I appreciate it so much. Everybody have a fantastic night. Bye-bye now.